If you want to be more efficient and effective while running your business with more inner peace, then working on the core of your issues instead of putting on a band-aid is vital. Welcome to the Business Brain Podcast.
I'm your host, Esty Rapport, and here to help you improve your 28 cognitive functions, the 28 things that make up thinking. In each episode, we'll discuss a real-life challenge, why you might be struggling with it, and give you practical strategies so all areas of your life will improve.
Last week, we spoke about using labels to reduce arguments. But did you know you can use the thinking skills of labeling to organize your brain and the space around you to make your life a whole lot easier? That's what's coming up next on the Business Brain Podcast, episode 435. But first, screenshot this episode and share it on Instagram stories. Don't forget to tag me at LifePix University so I can thank you personally. I'd like to share a story with you from the days of when I was working with children. Parents of a 10-year-old boy came to me because they were super worried about their son. Any single thing you told him, he would forget a couple of seconds later. If you were telling him a story, by the time you got up to sentence number 2, he forgot sentence number 1. And it was super frustrating in school. Every time they would have to relearn and relearn everything that he was doing because he just simply couldn't remember it. During my first meeting with the boy, I noticed he really struggled to express himself. He would constantly use his hands to describe simple concepts or ask me for a pencil and paper to draw out what he wanted to say instead of using his words. It didn't take me long to realize he struggled with this thinking skill of labeling. What was happening was anytime a piece of information came into his brain, it would go into this big, huge bucket of mush. And then if you would ask him a question or his opinion on something, he would have to pull out an answer from this pot of mush. But there was no labels to be able to pull it out. By improving his thinking skill of labeling, his brain began to organize the information in his brain in a clear and organized way. And then he was able to express back what he was saying for 2 reasons. 1, his brain was now able to find it because it was clear and organized. And 2, he had the words, he had the labels to be able to say what he wanted to say. Didn't need to draw that image or use his hands to express himself. I hope you're not struggling with labels on that level. But if you are, no, you're not alone because it took him just 2 weeks of working on those cognitive functions and things became a whole lot easier and he came completely up to par with his class. Labeling is a prerequisite for organizing your brain. Our brain has to know what it is before it can begin to organize it. So, what is labeling? Quick recap from last week. Labeling is calling items, people's ideas, concepts, etc. by their right names. Instead of this, that, their, whatever, you use the proper label. Many things in life already have labels, but more abstract concepts often don't, especially when you create them. So if you create systems, rituals, etc., you want to create a label to be able to communicate it in the right way. Remember, if you want your brain to remember it, you want to give it a name, a label. Improving your thinking skill of labels simply takes awareness. Whenever you are talking or writing, take that extra moment to see if there is a better label to use. Another tip I found that really helps is taking 5 minutes a day to walk around your house or walk around the park and point to random items and say exactly what they're called. A tree, a fork, a cup, etc. Now you can take this exercise to the next level by using that 5 minutes to go through abstract items, go through your systems, go through your documents, plans that you've created, etc., and give labels to every step of the way. Everything that comes in your mind, if you were to describe it, what would that label be? Remember, if there is no label, create one. Now, you may be thinking you are pretty good at labeling, and guess what? I feel you on that because I've been too. But in the past couple of months, I spent quite a bit of time really honing in on this thinking skill. And guess what? Not only has my brain become even more organized and my communication has drastically, and I mean drastically improved One of the things that surprised me most was how much better my daily emails are getting. I send out emails 6 days a week with stories, tips, and full value to help you improve your cognitive function. And they were great before, but now every time after I finished writing it, I would take a quick glance to see if there was any pronouns or abstract words that could get better labels. And I would just adjust the sentence to make it sound a little bit better and a little bit more precise. And two crazy things happened. Number one, I started getting way more people telling me they absolutely love the emails and they unsubscribed from so many other people besides for these. That's number one. And number two, I began enjoying writing them even more. All of a sudden, it was clearer and easier for my brain to do it, that it started becoming super, super fun for me to write these emails. So maybe that's a reason for you to decide to take some time to just focus on your thinking skill. In case you need one more reason to work on labeling, this may be the thing to push you over the edge. I personally believe, this is my personal opinion, that one of the reasons why Alex Hormozi has gained popularity so fast, besides for his hard work, of course, I'm not saying that this will happen without the hard work, is because of this cognitive function of labeling. Everything that Alex Hormozi says gets a clear label with a precisely defined definition. It makes it a lot easier for people to understand complex ideas and take action on it because it's organized in the brain. And because they are taking action based on what he says, he now goes up in their brains and how much value they provide, and they want to consume more of his content because they are helping him even more. So if you want to be able to help more people, if you want your content to land better, this just may be the cognitive function that will help you get there. Today, we spoke about the power of using precise labels to organize information in your brain. To get better at labeling, you simply want to be aware of it. Ask the people around you to join you in so you can hold each other accountable. Tell your husband or friend to ask you what they mean any single time you don't use a precise label, even if they know what you're talking about, just to get you better at labeling. While now will take a little bit extra focus, pretty quickly it will become second nature. Cheers to Peak Brain Performance, and I'll catch you on the next episode.
That's all for this episode of the Business Brain Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please share it with 2 of your business friends so they too can gain from it, and you'll be helping us reach our goal of 1 million downloads by the end of 2025. Cheers to Peak Brain Performance.